What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Ride and Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. We are getting our phones out of frame and talking about the OG original LEXIN tire pump. So let's roll the intro, get right into it.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a YouTube channel, it's the Riding Down a thing that you found.
All right, so I've had this pump for probably about 7 or 8 months now, somewhere around there. I got it actually while I was on my Tail of Dragon trip last year with my buddy B. Rye. So I got it around there. I actually bought it from Team Dream Rides of Tennessee. He had to get a front tire change while we were there. Super good service for them, so I definitely highly recommend. They have a ton of step-ups already done, a ton of Salomon seats, good Bassani pipes, Simpson helmets. They have a ton of stuff in stock ready to buy that like normally you would have to have like custom made and stuff. So definitely check them out. They had really good service and really good prices. But back to the point of the video, I bought this. Now, a lot of you probably know that LEXIN has their kind of second gen pump out right now. So I might be a little bit late to the party reviewing it. For me, this one works just fine. I do not, I would like the new one. It does look a lot better. It looks like there's a million improvements on it. So it definitely does look like it's worth the money. However, I already have this one, and you'll see my opinions about it and stuff in the next few minutes, but I don't plan on buying the new one just because of how much money it is compared to what this one was. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe at the time when I got this, this was somewhere around the $40 to $60 range. I don't think it was less than 40 bucks, but I don't think it was more than 60. I want to say it was right around 50 or 40, somewhere around there, but I could be wrong. It does come with a kind of velvet drawstring case, a charger. It does charge with a micro USB, which is kind of very typical. Nowadays, everything's going to USB-C, but and it came with this as well as obviously the main pump portion of it. So to use it, basically you would screw this bottom portion in here on the bottom. It does come with like a little O-ring, so it does sit pretty good. There's a power button on the bottom, but that is not the power button that you turn or that you push to turn it on. You hit the unit button to turn it on. And I'll zoom you guys in close when I show you how it actually works. But you basically set the plus and minus to whatever PSI you want, and you can hit unit, obviously, to change the units. It does PSI, bar, kPa, and kilograms per centimeter squared. But obviously in America, I use PSI, and I think most places in the world use PSI for tires right now. So you put it on PSI, and let's say you needed it to go to 32. So you set it at 32, then you hit this actual click in button on the bottom, and it would start pumping up. When it's connected, it automatically pumps up. When it's connected, it automatically pumps up to, it continues to read it, and it will shut off. So I do have, and actually it auto shuts off, but if you wanted to shut it off itself, you hold the unit button and it shuts down. Now, my understanding is that the new one has a much better screen. It has a battery life indicator. I think it has a built-in light, USB ports, all that jazz. Like I said, for my use, this is just fine. The only reason I really wanted to buy this, because I have an air compressor in the garage. It's a 5-gallon air compressor, and it actually has, I have a whole wheel that's kind of, you can pull down. It's one of those like retractable wheels for air compressor. It goes out to the very end of my driveway, and I have a really nice kind of gun for the air compressor, to actually use it and read it. So this is not something I use at home really ever. This is more of a just in case something happens on the road. So that kind of brings me to my what just in case I use it for. Every once in a while I will take it out and use it for my motorcycle tires if for whatever reason that's inflated and it's nighttime and I don't want to make a whole lot of noise, because this is not super loud. It is louder than a lot of different air pumps I've used in the past, but it's also not terribly loud. I will say it does a decent job as far as speed goes, pumping up motorcycle tires. You can, if you wanted to, I believe, put a, it looks kind of beat up in there for some reason. You can put a, what's the word, like a needle inflator, like for basketballs, footballs, kind of stuff in that. I'm sure it would work just fine because it's the same concept as using a normal valve stem. But the locking mechanism I find works well. It is kind of a pain depending on what motorcycle tire you have with that long stem having to, or what motorcycle wheel you have with the long stem having to push it up and down and stuff. But like I said, nonetheless, it does work fine for what it is. I haven't had an issue not being able to get this on. It's just been a little annoying sometimes. So like I said, it worked fine for motorcycle tires. I've used it for bicycle tires a few times and some other miscellaneous things like that, and it's worked very fine. It works relatively quick. Where it does not work at all for is at least truck tires. I cannot speak for SUV tires or regular car tires, but this was just when I had my normal wheels and tires on my truck before I upgraded to the more off-road capable, you know, the larger, much larger tires I have right now that take a long time to fill up even with a normal air compressor. I wanted to top off my tires before I drove back home from the Tail of Dragon last year, and I tried using this instead of the mobile one I have in the truck that plugs into the cigarette lighter. I tried using this because obviously it's wireless and I just bought it. I wanted to try it out. So I set it and it would not even move 1 PSI over the course of 5 minutes on this. This actually has a notice that says passed is just quality control, but has a notice that says careful. Well, actually, I think it's supposed to say careful, but it says carefully hot, like carefully hot. But either way, it does have a notice that this gets hot, and everybody, Team Dream Rides even told me like, hey, just be careful when you do this, it does get hot, because when you screw this in, this metal piece right here at the base does get really hot after a few moments of use. Very, very hot. So something to note. I don't know if the new one has better heat management or not, or if it's just they can't get away for it or whatever. I know my other mobile one has the same issues. So it gets really hot. Like I said, it got really, really hot when I was trying to inflate my truck tires, and this wasn't even like inflating them from a dead, you know, like a dead deflate, like completely dead air. It was just trying to bump them up like 3 or 4 PSI to top off before I left home, because I tried to overinflate my tires from the recommended, not even near that they're max or whatever, just because I had a trailer, had the extra weight and stuff on it. But that's besides the point. You guys don't need to know all that info. The bottom line is that that is what happened. I do not recommend this for any sort of vehicle tires, any sort of car vehicle tires. Motorcycles, it works really good. I have no issues with this. I still use this. I just took it out and recharged it again just to double check that it's still working good and everything like that. It's a pretty solid, it's all metal. I don't know if it's aluminum or not, but it's an all metal construction, and the sides are plastic, but this is a metal tube. Basically, it works, you know, it holds up really good. The finish has worn off on the bottom, just from where I've had it in the saddlebag or whatever over the last couple of rides I've taken. But other than that, it's a pretty good unit. Let's go pump up a tire on the bike. All right, so I went ahead and deflated this tire just a tad. The standard PSI that it calls for is 36, so we're gonna go to it right now. I'm gonna hit the unit, turn it on, make sure you guys can see everything. PSI 0, we're gonna hit it. Now it goes back to the last one that I dialed in, 36. It's all set to go. Put this sucker on the valve, lock it into place. Right now it says it's at 12.9, so I definitely deflated it a decent amount. I'm gonna hit that power button, and I'm gonna let it play in real time so you guys can see how long this is gonna take. It's already at 13, 13.1, 0.2, 0.3. It'll be a little bit, but it'll go kind of quick. All right, my camera's gonna cut off in about 7 seconds, but it's getting warm up here, and this whole thing is really hot. The metal is very hot. Can't even touch it for a second. The hose is pretty hot as well. All right, so you guys saw in real time how it works. That tire wasn't 100% deflated. I deflated it a little bit specifically to show you this test. And that was on reference, that was on my Sportster. It's just a hell of a lot easier to get to that tire than it is to get to the tire on the Lowrider S. But you guys saw how it worked. You saw my review on it. Now the time comes for me to say, if I had to buy it again, would I buy it again? Or would I buy something else? And yes, I still would buy this again. There are a couple cheaper options on Amazon that have decent reviews, and I'm sure they probably work just as good, if not potentially better. The problem with those are that they're not LEXIN, and LEXIN is a real company that you can call on the phone real quick or send an email to or whatever. They have good customer service. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. That is a big plus. Customer service, you hope you don't need them, but if you need them, you definitely want them to be there for you. Like I said, the design of this is good. It's pretty sleek, fits in this with no issues, charges easily, relatively quickly to charge as well. Really no issue with it at all. Just wish it did a little bit faster. If you could make, like I said, this new one that they have, the Gen 2, whatever they call it, from LEXIN, I haven't done too much research on it because it's just out of my price range for something that I don't feel like I need right now because I have this one originally. But I was looking at this for a long time, and like I said, Team Dream Rides came in kind of clutch with it, having a bunch on stock in hand, and in stock on hand, and you know, good price. So let me know what you guys think. Do you have this one? Do you have the new one? Let me know how much the new one is worth it. I don't know. One of you guys in the comments may convince me to spend a little Christmas money on that new one for myself, especially if it's capable of doing, you know, kind of truck and SUV tires, because that would be perfect. It would be kind of my do-all on vacation thing that I can take and not even have to worry about having the other ones with me. So let me know what you think. Check out the Instagram, TikTok, all that, all the links in the description. Check out the build series on the Sportster, build series on the Lowrider S, and don't forget to check out my Tucker Speed affiliate code and coupon code for you guys to get some discounted merch and some discounted goods for your bike. Until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun. Dad out.